Alright, so check this out. Finally found a trailer. I was looking. I think I looked at a couple for $4,500, $4,000 triaxle deck overs, and I would literally see rusted holes to the frame or something. So one day my dad is driving down the highway and he calls me and says, "Hey, I think I found you a trailer." I said, "Yeah, what is it?" "Triaxle deck over." "How much?" $1,200. Does the frame look good? Frame looks amazing. I said, "Get it." So this is it. Looks pretty awesome. Not a big fan of that style wheel and hub, but we can always upgrade it to newer axles at a later date, which we probably will do. But everything's clean on it. You can see, you know, no holes in the shackles or anything like that. It's a big place to rust. This. So what we are going to do today is we are going to basically try and get it wired up. We're going to probably drop a tree, cut up a deck for it, band it down on there, and then I'm going to bring it home. You know, you guys probably know I'm about 2 hours away at my parents', so it's just hard for me to work on stuff. So I'm actually just going to try and bring this home with me today with all the supplies I need. Then I can deck it, go through the wheel bearings, brakes, and things like that, and then we'll haul a load with it. I don't think the lights work on this thing at all, so I just went ahead and ordered everything new, LED from Amazon. So I've got my back tri brake light here. Got some marker lights. Again, everything's LED. I think I only paid about 80 bucks for all this stuff on Amazon. I will put a link to all these parts in the description. I got some brake and turn signals here. And I also got just a new whip with a junction box because I don't really want to be messing around with it. This will be pretty nice. We can bolt it right to the side of the frame there. Then go ahead and plug it into the truck to run the brakes and the lights. The idea here is that I'm not going to do like a complete refurbishment on this trailer yet, but I have some stuff that I want to do this fall. I'm going to be able to haul the Model 40 down, move the Power Master, maybe get the 450B a little, you know, work. So I want it to be reliable and maintenance free, and LED and new wiring is the first step to that. That's going to look pretty nice. Forgot a drill. Got to go grab a drill so I can mount those lights. Alright, so I'm going to start stringing wires now. With this came this little, you know, wiring schematic or whatever. So this will be like if I want to charge a battery. I'm not going to do reverse lights. That's my center. So I'm going to do right turn, stop. Brakes I'm not going to do today. We'll do that, you know, when we look over the axles and the brakes. So really I need running, tail lights, left turn, stop, ground, right turn, stop. So I've got 4 wires I got to run, and most of them I got to run to the back. And on this side I'll run my power in from my green and then my power out to the back one and the other side. It's not my favorite joint in the world, but it should hold. These are the marine grade ones, I guess they call them, with the glue in them. So when you shrink them down, you can see that glue oozing out the end. They're pretty solid. They don't pop a fuse. So far, so good. Nice. All right. All right. Yep. I don't have that hooked up yet. Push on the brake. Yeah. Okay. And then let's see if this little guy works. Yep. Okay, so we just gotta hook our grounds up there. And same with this one. Yep, just gotta hook our grounds up. Alright, I think we are all wired up temporarily. Remember, this is temporary for the ride home. So marker light works. I got this all doctored up for now. Just gonna tape those on. Let's go check that here. Other marker looks, that's good. We got some blinkers. Marker, marker. All right, I think we are good to go. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the sawmill to cut a deck for this thing. So I don't know, I gotta talk to my dad, I don't know. I think we're gonna drop a tree. We're looking for maybe a cottonwood deck on this because I don't use it a ton, like I said. White oak, my wife loves white oak. So any white oak that we cut up is gonna go to furniture and hopefully a floor in a future house. So I can't do white oak. So I think we're just gonna go with a cheap old cottonwood deck. Because if you see, those things grow like weeds around here. There's about 50 of them around. So I think we're gonna drop one and cut it up for a deck. A little more. A little more. Yep. That big one. right in there. It's going down. We're gonna drop it that way. It's a little wide open that way, but the wind's kind of blowing from the north a little bit today, so we'll see.
Oh wow, there you go.
You know, it wasn't the prettiest, but that was pretty good aim. Got it more? Alright, so the first thing I did wrong was I came in like this on my wedge. That's kind of a no-no, but we still got it out. I'm not sure if that actually means anything, so if anyone knows, let us know in the comments. My dad and I were kind of discussing that at length. Other than that, alright, we had quite a bit of gusts of wind today, so I really didn't have to take that in that far because I got to there and I left the wedge in there to kind of see if the tree was moving, and it did move. So we took it down. So this is the probably third tree I've ever cut down in my life. I'm 30 years old. It's kind of like a necessary skill, I think. So I'm pretty green in it. If you got any nice suggestions, leave them in the comments. But it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting trade. This is a Woodland Mills HM130 Max. If you guys are actually interested in a video on this, I'll put a link up here at the top where we unboxed it, set it up, and made some cuts with it. We haven't done a ton of milling with it yet. You can kind of see everything over there that we milled, but to be honest with you, it's pretty awesome. A machine like this is definitely going to pay for itself. Got her strapped down. Got 4 pieces of white oak on top. We've been whittling away at this big log, but these big logs are such a pain to work with. But I'm working on a project in my mudroom. I'll show you guys that in the end of the video. And I need some white oak for a top. But man, this is like the trailer decking of choice, but it's just too pretty. It's nice wood, so I'm gonna go with the cottonwood instead. We made it home all right last night. Got all the deck boards cut on the trailer here, but after spending some time with it, having it in the driveway and taking a good look at it, there's a couple things I want to address before I go ahead and start throwing the deck on. I'm trying not to delve into a full-on paint it up, trailer restoration project. I really just want to get it roadworthy and use it. But I've got some metal and some welding work to do. We got stuff like this. This is just a piece of square tube that separates the dovetail from the main deck boards. We gotta do that. A bunch of these cross members are cracked. Right here, there's a stress point where they weld that on the other side. I'll show you that. This is the main front cross member in the trailer. It looks like maybe they had a little bit of a patch job on it before. It's kind of cracked down here, and then a little bit up the side on the back side. So I'll go ahead and I'll just scale that. You can see really good over there that one's cracked. I'm gonna go ahead and just scale that and prep that and weld that. And then we also need a new trailer jack, because I think this one was seized. And before the guy sold it, he just buzzed it off with the torch. But honestly, none of this stuff scares me. The one thing that could really scare me is the wheels and tires. So let's dive into that. We'll dive into one of those axles and hubs and see if we can pop a new one on. Biggest thing, and probably the most cost prohibitive thing, is what do I want to do with these wheels, rims, tires, brake setup. So if you look here, I got, just quite a bit of flaking, quite a bit of rust. The tires are kind of okay. I mean, they're starting to get a little bit of dry rot. This front axle actually looks like it has darn near brand new tires on it. These back two are just a little bit, suspect. So here's the deal with these mobile home axles. They don't really like these hub, brake, drum style axles anymore. They're kind of supposedly a little bit illegal. Apparently these come loose, they don't work. So what I could do with this trailer is I could swap on an entire new set of axles, but brand new axles with brakes and bearings and everything are about $600 to $700 a piece. So I'd almost be in $2,000 just in axles, and then probably another $1,200 in tires. So my bearings look okay. That's what I was thinking. I'd honestly probably clean these up, pack these and run these. So if you look here, this is the old brake. So this drums probably could be redone. This is the surface where your magnet grabs, and then this pushes and goes out. But look at that. That's amazing when I'm moving that. I'll have to check. I don't know if my magnet's supposed to look like that. But when I'm moving that, the brake disc is going out and coming back. So dang it, I might be getting new backer plates too. Come on, you want to pop these? Hey, get this one. Come on. Here. No, hey. Come on. Pop it. Good boy. Get down. I think that'll be pretty nice. I got it shimmed under here, so I'm going to keep the jack out from the trailer frame a little bit, because on the old one I was right up against, and a bunch of crap got back there and it started rusting it. And then I'm going to go up an inch and a half with these, and then this way I'll bolt these right to that main trailer frame. Should be pretty solid. I can weld this up and down on the back. So they say right in the manual this is a weld-on jack. So they give you the weld spec right there. They want two 3-inch long by 1/4-inch weld fillets. I'll definitely be able to do that. The one unfortunate thing is with this, It's painted, so I gotta take the paint off. Sit. Sit. Speak. Good boy. Alright, so something nice and light today will be, we can finish up the wiring. I still have to run the wires for the brakes, so I have some brake packers here. We're going to look at what those look like. I've got some like loom or whatever. I'm going to cover all the wires once we're done with this stuff. And then I also got some, okay, you want that? Okay, go. Alright, so the last part of the wiring is the trailer brakes. So I'm actually going to run a dedicated ground to the trailer brakes. So I'm going to have 2 wires coming from each of the 6 trailer brake backer plate magnets, whatever you want to call them, on the trailer. And I'm going to run that ground right back to the junction box that we installed in the very beginning of the video. Just because I don't feel like the frame ground is always that great or that reliable. And one thing I want to be reliable on this trailer are the brakes, obviously, right? So I've got, you know, 10, 15,000 on the trailer going down the road. I'm not gonna be able to stop that with just my trucks. So to do the brakes, I actually did just order new backer plates. The ones on it, the issues with that are the brake pad is actually starting to delaminate from the shoe. So that's no good. And then those are not self-adjusting either. So again, everything in this video I will post a link to. Got most of it on Amazon. I got these from Southwest Wheel. They look to be a pretty good brake, self-adjusting, even though everyone says those never work. Comes with some new hardware to slap them onto the axles, and they should bolt right up. So I'm gonna look at this. It's pretty nice. I'm surprised. Some people were saying on the cheaper ones you don't get much brake material. But these actually look pretty good. So looking at this, all they give me is they just give me, you know, maybe 3 inches of flying leads. So we'll just go ahead and we'll bust splice some connectors. So basically what I need to do on the trailer wiring harness, I just need to bring those 2 wires. I'm gonna bring it through the frame, not on the axle, because I feel like that could be susceptible to damage, and just bring it down to here. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm not a big trailer guy. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there that tow wire. I actually almost bet legally by DOT you have to run a dedicated ground. So if you know that, chime that in the comments to help everyone else out, because I'd hate to see someone do a frame ground with the trailer brakes and then get dinged for it. So one other important thing, I got some blue wire. That's what color the harness is in here, so the brakes are blue. Like I said, I'm trying to keep everything as best I can. The ground will be white. One other thing that's important to note about these trailer brakes is you gotta run them in parallel, not series. So it's very tempting to go to the first brake and just go in from the harness and out to the next brake, and then just daisy chain them all until you come back to the ground. But think about that, if you have one fault in the system, all 6 trailer brakes are out. Up to all 6 trailer brakes are out. Because if you have a fault basically in the first where you have a magnet burn out or something like that, you're toast. So I'm going to go down, I'm just going to run 4 wires out of each butt splice connector. 1 to the left brake on the axle, 1 to the right brake on the axle, and then 1 will be in and then 1 will be out to the next brake, and we're going to do that for both power and ground. So one important thing to note, and I kind of got torched on this already, is that these electric brakes actually draw with about 3 to 4 amps a piece. So when you have a triaxle, you need some pretty big wire. So honestly, I should be running close to 10 gauge on this, but the truck harness, everything else is probably 12 gauge. So I'm just going to stick with 12 gauge. The good news is it's not super high duty cycle. You know, I'll just be on and off the brakes. It's not like lights that be running all the time or something. But keep that in mind when you're working on, you know, wiring up a trailer. So that looks pretty good. So I've got my drop right there, across. Got my drop over there. We'll tie that into the brakes, back in place when we put it on. So now I've got to repeat that for the other 3 axles. Then we'll dive into putting these brakes on and taking care of the spring issues we have. Just try and put just some split wire loom over it. Even though I have a feeling this stuff can go on pretty hard. Alright, so I think the wiring on this thing is pretty good. I gotta clean up my junction box, but I'm actually gonna take all this stuff loose and feed it back through, because next thing I gotta do is I gotta do some welding. So that's cracked down there. Those have probably been repaired before, but I got a couple gussets. I'm gonna gusset each side, I think. You can see down there, it's a pretty good shot where it's cracked. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna weld. It's a couple little other cracks. Wiring looks good though. I got everything going to the back. Got my 2 markers up front split off. So then all my brakes I just kind of left hang, like you can see. Put some of this loom over it. What I'm really worried about is just where it goes through the frame cross members. So I don't want that to wear. So it looks pretty good. I, you know, probably have a little bit of money into wire, but like I said before, your brakes are only as good as your wiring, things like that. So we're going to bring it down to the neighbor's. He's got a bigger MIG welder than I do. If I were to try and weld this 1/4 inch 5/16, it would look like garbage like that. So we gotta fix these. So these are just slipper springs. So they had a piece of tube welded in there that this spring would ride on. Same thing over there. That one is just completely gone. This one's about toast. So I'm gonna cut these out and then we'll weld these in just some flat band iron in there. Should wear a little better, some 3/8 thick. I'll tell you what, trailers are a lot more work than I had hoped it would be. It's time to go weld. want to throw a tack on that for me? There.
Good? Yep.
Alright, so I got all the welding done. I did put these gussets in. Welded that down there. Same thing on that side. Originally, they had never welded that underneath, so they kind of just left it kind of half. So that could be why that cracked before, was just because that wasn't the best joint there. So I did. Got a pretty nice weld in there. I'm not the best at vertical MIG, and there's a little bit of crud in there, but I think it'll hold. And this side looks pretty good. Fix that one there. Same thing over here. So I did have these gussets cut that maybe I was going to put in. But to be honest with you, after seeing that the bottom wasn't welded there and getting a nice weld, you could see, you know, in the video, you could see the penetration on the back side. So I think I got to burn it pretty good. So I'm going to roll with that. I'm not going to add those gussets. I don't think I need it. And back here, I got those spring pads added. So next thing we got to do is we got to go through these springs on the axle. All these axles at least need new bushings. I'm not sure. This might even need new springs, just because that's probably worn out beyond repair right there. And then right here, as we've already discussed, we got to put a new slip shackle in there. Probably go through these. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to take care of this suspension on this thing. Alright, that's pretty chooched, right? So that wore through because that leaf spring broke. Then the slipper spring wasn't slipping in the right area. I'm just going to clean this up quick. So for springs, I just bought the Libra slipper spring off Amazon. You know, I went with a little more expensive stuff on the brakes, but in my mind, there's not that much to a spring. And again, I'm just kind of trying to not let this project get away from me, because I'm not going to use this trailer every day like the contractor would. So I'll link these in the description again. I'm going to replace just the springs on the center axle, because I have a feeling that I would be told to replace them in a pair. So that's exactly what we will do. Wow, I don't know what's going on up there. Everything so far has been very serviceable. Parts are very available for this thing, which is nice. You know, like, you wouldn't think that a trailer like this would be so commonplace or something like that, but they really did make them all probably the same back when these things were made. much bushing left there. Alright, so magnet at the bottom, right? And voila. Look at that. The perfect fit. So that's awesome. So the brakes are exactly, you know, what was on here, modern brakes are. And why that matters is A, because I know I can find parts for it, and B, because then when I go switch to those newer style 8-lug hubs and rims, I can literally just slide that hub right over it. I'll have good drums and everything, and then I'll be able to find tires and rims to fit it, no issue either. So now the moment of truth. Let's see if these hubs fit with these brakes. I'm dragging on the ground a little bit so it won't spin super freely. But everything looks good. If you see that reveal right there is like perfect. So what I'll do is I'll get everything back together, bearings on and everything, and then you come back through these two holes with a screwdriver, and that allows you to adjust the brake basically as large as you can without it rubbing, and then your brakes are properly adjusted. So that's awesome. Everything worked out okay on this trailer. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the brakes on this side and tidy up those wires and connect the brakes. So on these brake wires, I don't think polarity matters. It's just a magnet. We're just trying to turn the electromagnet on. So my blue and my white can go to any. These guys are already stripped a little bit. All right, you wanna show everyone you can catch your Frisbee? Hey, come on, no, hey, give. Okay, ready? Come on. Give. Hey, give. Hooper, give. Give. Okay, ready? Come on, go get it. No, come on, ready? Whoa. Okay, one more. Come on. No, hey, hey, give. Ah, bad throw. For the decking, there's two doubled up cross members right here in the middle. So these are double wide. That's where you can make your joints. So you can see these logs that we cut were actually about 119. Was about what we could get them. So 10 footers, and then I'm gonna cut and I'll alternate seams. So I think I'm ready to get going. I'm going to square up that first one, cut at 119, and then the rest of them will be the remnant, and hopefully we can get a deck on this thing pretty quick. You want this? Sit. Good boy. Take it. Okay. Come on. Here. Come. Go.
Where am I filming?
He's unsure over here. So that's about it for the decking that I have on hand here. I was picking through the boards, and I'm not really going to put on something that's punky when it's so easy to just go cut more, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to screw these down, and then we'll go take the trailer up and do some more. So to screw these down, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Some guys will go like a carriage bolt with a cleat on the C-channel frame members. Pretty popular way seems to be some self-tap screws. So if you look, that end's just serrated a little bit. So I'm gonna give them a try. I mean, sometimes these things work really well, sometimes they don't. I'm gonna run it with a 9/32 drill bit. We'll see what we get. I'm gonna try and do 2 per board per cross member, minus like where the double cross members are and stuff, because I'm not gonna go overboard. Again, I'll link these in the description of the video. I got these from Amazon. I'll let you guys know how they work. All right, let's go. Are you looking for some wood? Come, take it.
Take it.
Take it.
Take it.
Get it.
Go.
Get it. Oh, yeah. That's a nice piece of wood. Pretty sharp bit. Alright, so the more I dive into this trailer, the more I realize that was in pretty good shape. These bearings are awesome. You know, I'm going to replace the seals. These drums are definitely good enough to run. Again, I'm not going to use it a ton. So the only issue with this is the tires are pretty dry rotted. Like you can see right here. Definitely have seen better days, probably just because it's sat for forever. So you can find these. I found a guy that's got basically as many of these donut rim and tire assemblies as you want for like 45 bucks a piece. My dad's got 2 on his generator that we can swap out. The 2 on the front axle are good, so I'm gonna pop these off. I'm gonna scale these hubs and paint them up a little bit, and then we're gonna get some used tires for them. And then that's pretty much gonna be a wrap on the trailer until I want to upgrade to either, you know, the newer 8 lug or paint it or something. What are the chances this comes apart? Wow. Looks like that's a really good area for junk to build up. So I'm just going to go ahead and scale these, kind of clean them up a little bit. The rims that we're going to get are going to be a lot nicer shape than these. I think they look like they're decent. So I scale that up, clean that up, paint that. That'll help the look of the trailer. Whoa! What are you guys doing? You guys ready to paint some hubs? Yeah. Alright, so here's everything cleaned up. It's kind of cool. You can see the Dexter logo. Obviously, like this one's in really good shape. Kind of depends. So everything's cleaned up. I wiped everything down, you know, the surfaces that I care about. I don't care if that gets paint on it. With some lacquer thinner. So now, as you can see, it's kind of rusty. So a lot of people would use POR 15 or something like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shoot that straight epoxy primer that I always like to shoot. Shot it on my truck. Also had some rust, you know, kind of stuff like this on my truck. So in here I have a product called Piclex 20. It's just like an etching acid. Basically, you spray it on. And we'll just let it sit. And that's just an acid. And that's going to get us ready for paint. And I don't even have to like rinse that off or anything. So once this stuff is on, you know, it says you can kind of blow it off or something like that, but this is gonna give me a pretty good surface for paint, and I know that because I did quite a bit of this on the truck. All right, definitely worth the effort. So I found these on Facebook Marketplace. I paid $45 a piece for them. Tire, rim. I mean, the rim is like brand new. Still a nice satin black paint on it. The tires still got nubs on them, plenty of tread. I felt kind of stupid spending all that time. I mean, I probably spent like a whole week after work scaling those hubs, messing with the tires that I had, but I really think once we put this back together and get this on, it's gonna be a lot safer. I'm gonna be able to run it for a long, long time until someone gives me, you know, crap about it. I hope I don't have any issues with that, and it's cheap. I mean, I went from spending, you know, maybe $225 for 6 rims and tires, so probably $1,800 bucks. But by the time I got hubs and tires, I would have been in $2,000 just to go to the 8 lug. But I mean, shoot, I'm gonna be in a little bit of time, some paint, a couple wheel seals, and $180 because the 2 I had are pretty good. So let's put those hubs together. Those turned out pretty good after paint. And then we can get to bolting these babies on, and the mechanical stuff on the trailer is gonna be pretty darn set. Really no scars or anything on those rollers. Like you'll see, if they're like really bad, you'll see scratches this way. Just give them a quick pack because honestly, there's already a lot of grease in them. I got these seals from Amazon again. It's like a 2 3/8 OD. 2 1/8 ID. I'll put a link to these in that store that we're setting up. It's probably... So that one is good to go. When we put it back on the trailer, we'll go ahead and we'll pack that bearing, we'll put the nut in, and then I got some new dust caps too. So I'm gonna run through the other 5 of these, and then we'll get to putting some wheels and tires on this baby. The only real thing you can mess up when you're doing this is just hurting that seal bore. But with the bearing in there, you should be fine. What I was always told when you do these is you kind of tighten down, spin it. Actually snug them up. You can check, make sure you don't replay, and we'll back it off until it's loose, and just very gently snug it. That should be good right there. Alright, yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm glad I did that. Grease on everything. So you can see, it's not tracking the best. It's wobbling. It's going like this. Alright, so like a typical lug nut you would tighten to probably like 120 foot-pounds this size. This style hub is definitely a lot more forgiving. You gotta pay attention to it. So I'm gonna start at 70. I'm gonna go, you can see, like I'm probably at like 40 foot-pounds right now. There's just so much movement to it all, because of the way that taper locks on there. So once I start to snug down, we'll get it to click at 70. Oh man, that's still tight. All right. And then I'm gonna go to 85. Everything I could find online says 85 to 90. So I'm just gonna go 85. It shouldn't be that much more this time. I'm gonna leave that right there. I will check it, you know, basically after the first couple of miles of driving around. I'll probably bring a torque wrench with me and check it, because I don't really trust them until I get comfortable with them. But I mean, honest with you, it feels like I got a lot of clamp load on that. You can see there's a lot of stretch in those fasteners. They don't just hit a wall in some sense. That taper has to go down, so I really feel 85 foot-pounds of torque is pretty good on those things. So that's it. I'm gonna finish bolting on the deck, and then we are going to head back up to the sawmill, finish cutting up the deck, and then I think we got to put something heavy on this and give it a try. But I will say, just right now, like I said earlier, I felt kind of dumb spending all the time on this mobile home axle setup. It's actually not a mobile home axle setup. It's a Dexter utility axle. All Dexter parts. I just, you know, everyone favors the 8-lug now. But this looks good, and I got out pretty cheap. I didn't have to buy hubs, didn't have to buy bearings, just bought seals, and I spent, you know, $180 on 4 rims and tires, which is, like, you won't find that anywhere near that for the 8-lugs. So that's it. She's looking pretty good. I'm excited to get it finished up and throw a load on it. The little painting up front, got everything good there. It's come a long ways. I think it's going to be a pretty good trailer for some years to come, for as much as I'm going to use it. Man, those things look nice. I like that a lot. They kind of look like from a bygone era. They're going to match my truck pretty well. Alright, I think I have everything wrapped up that I can do here. I even have a plate on it. I'm going to take this thing up and finish cutting the deck and put the deck on it tomorrow. Actually put something heavy on it and give it a good test. But before I drive a couple hours, I figured I should maybe take it for a little local trip and just make sure. Because if you remember, we put quite a bit of work into all that stuff. The springs, the bearings, brakes, everything like that. And I also want to check and make sure the brakes work before we take it for a ride. So I got a new hitch on the truck. We're going to get this thing loaded up and take it for a little test drive. Lisa's driving. Has to go in there. Oh. Got so excited to drive the trailer, I didn't realize I left my e-brake on. Alright. That sucks. I'm probably going to have to redo my brakes on my truck. But trailer seems okay. All right, so we've closed out the trailer build. I've been up here all day, basically finishing the deck, quite a bit of work. Had that issue, I had to actually take one of the drums off my truck and adjust it because I left my e-brake on yesterday when I took it for the test drive. So, I really want to end this video on doing something with purpose, so I think I'm going to wait until I actually go ahead and get the 450B. We want to bring that down here and get that some maintenance and use that a little bit. So I think that'll be a good way to end the video, but right now we are going to see the deck turned out pretty good. Just more cottonwood. We have more right there. Plenty of cottonwood to go around. So I got new chains, I got binders. We want to test this thing out a little bit. So I think we're going to throw the Kubota on it. How much does that thing weigh?
Oh, 5,000 maybe?
5,000. So we're going to throw the Kubota on.
Motor?
Should be about 5,000 pounds. That'll be a pretty good test. That'll be about 10,000 pounds for the total. And we're just going to cruise around the block, right?
think they'd rotate up. They kind of rotated up.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the way they got that pin there.
Yep. We
That
should have
can
had
go
some
up.
nice big wooden blocks under here somewhere.
Well, for unloading, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean,
But other than that, it went pretty good, huh?
it's on there, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's all right.
Your tires look okay?
Yeah, the tires look fine.
Yeah, I think you're pretty...
The front axle might be,
Might
I don't
be a
know,
little more
tough
on
to
that
say.
one. Huh?
Tough to say, yeah. I mean, it's not bottomed out, you know. You still got lots of room under there, so should be okay.
It's close.
Yeah, I think it's pretty centered. It's to the left further though. Well, maybe not. The blade's actually pretty centered. It's gonna be fun getting it off.
Why? Because no brakes?
Yeah. Yeah, you got nothing to stop you, but
Well,
the truck's definitely got a little tongue weight on it too.
huh?
The truck's got a little tongue weight on it,
Just about right.
which is good. Hey, what are you doing in the front seat? Yeah, and those stinking ramps are just a little
narrow,
a little narrow.
wide.
But I was looking a little wide, yeah. All I'd have to do is cut this.
Oh, slide that over?
Well, move this. I could just get along your pin and move it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's darn near almost a little too wide for most stuff, isn't it? How was it with
what
it?
would be that wide that you can move?
Yeah.
So we're talking right now on the proper way to chain down a bulldozer. A lot of people, from what I've seen, and you guys can chime in here in the comments if we're wrong, literally just take a chain and just hook on that cleat, kind of grab. I don't know, I mean, doesn't seem like the greatest idea, but there's also not a ton of places to hook on a dozer like this. So where, that won't work. You go on the pad always.
Here? Yeah, maybe even a little tighter. I need to get some more out of it. As much as I can. I like that.
You have to bring Bill an extra pair of pants when he starts working on this.
Where should I be? Around this?
Yeah, around that main cross member.
Yep.
Well, it's chained down. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll stop and check. I think a lot of people, when they do the change, they have like the one hook that's made to slip over the chain. They'll do one of those, and then they'll do the big frame hook. If you guys know, let me know, because this hook doesn't always seem the best to hook to the chassis and stuff. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Everything's chained down. So now we'll see. What do you think? I think this is between 11 and 13,000 pounds, maybe.
I think so.
So that would put me right at about 14 or 15 behind the truck, up to 17. So I've had probably 17 behind it before, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. Yeah, that's out red pine there.
Maple, right?
Yeah, that's hardwood, that's maple. No, there's no cedar stumps up here. So they're getting, I think this is the neighbor's lot here. They're getting clear cut. Wow, look at that. That's all kind of seconds there. That's all poplar. It gets rots on the inside. Some dead stuff. Birch, maple. It smells nice. That's all white pine, I think.
So they're on now.
So look at some of these trees. Are they taking all these big ones down yet, or?
No.
No, they're fine.
No, she'll explain it to
You should try and get a drone shot of that.
You know,
That'd be kind of cool.
I only got one battery left, but
Do ya?
yeah,
Shit.
I could get it up in the air.
Look at that skidder.
What does that do?
That grabs the logs. You just grab a tree after it cuts and you just drag it to where you can process it. Alright, so we made it back safe and sound. To be honest with you, I could not ask for this thing to tow any better with a 1-ton truck. Like I said, we're probably 15,000 to 17,000 pounds, and it really towed like a dream. So I'm excited. This trailer should be a really good tool for us. It should open up a lot of avenues. I mean, simply if I want to bring the Model 40 down now and work on it in my garage, or we see something cool that we want to buy, moving logs, all kinds of stuff, right? It's just a trailer that. So this is a 21,000 pound gross vehicle weight, deck over, tri-axle trailer that we've been working on. We bought it for $1,200, got a pretty good price on it, and then I ended up sticking probably about another $1,800 to $2,000 in it. That's with the steel I bought, the welding I did, the little bit of paint I put on, the jack, the brakes, the springs, the wheels and tires, everything. So I think we got a pretty good deal on this. I put in, honestly, probably 5 to 6 weeks of spare time work on it, but it should be a good trailer that we can use for hopefully the rest of our lives, right? So thanks for watching. I'm sure you guys will have some comments. If you just want to reach out and say hi, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you have any nice advice for us on, cutting trees and chaining down bulldozers, we'd like to hear from that too. So we're going to get this thing unloaded. This thing needs a lot of work. As you guys can probably see, it doesn't run that great yet because there's just junk in the fuel. Fuel filters are probably plugged, so that's what's next. We're going to work on this thing. Got all kinds of stuff going on. So thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next time. All right, so as promised, here's the diesel mudroom project. So I just got done making this. This is solid white oak. I just epoxied it and then did like a matte finish on it by just kind of knocking it down. White oak shelves, white oak top. Then the white oak in question that we cut that day was for, we're gonna do a little bench top over there. That's still drying, I'll show you that. So this is the headquarters up here. It's nice and climate controlled, so I just stacked that white oak. It's nice wood. Should make a nice bench top. So I'm just finishing up the video. As you can see here on the computer, this is actually white oak. This is kind of what got her white oak obsession started while we're on the subject. I just want to say one thing. Probably the coolest thing about this video, I'm actually having quite a bit of fun making this video and editing it and things like that. Coolest thing by far is, and I didn't really realize this until retrospect after we were done filming, put a lot of time into that thing. You know, my dad did, my family did, everyone kind of helped and pitched in. You know, even Lisa with me spending so much time on it. And it's really cool when you buy a trailer like that. My dad always gives me a hard time, said, well, that's the trailer you wanted, you know, it's something you had to work on. It's really cool when you buy something like that and you put a lot of time into it and you put a lot of effort into it. And when we went to haul the bulldozer you see on the screen behind me there, everything went pretty darn flawlessly. I think it's still, you know, 4 or 5 days later, and I'm still kind of astonished at how everything went. So I had a lot of fun. It should be a good trailer, and definitely really rewarding to put all that time into that thing and have it work pretty flawlessly. So I hope you guys appreciated the video. Once again, thanks for all the support. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I got to finish up this video and get on to the next one. We got some stuff to haul now.